Welcome to Friday, and welcome to the market update for May 28th, 2021. You may be wondering why I see two of me. I had to buy a second camera, I need it. So I bought a higher quality. It's amazing to see, like side by side, how much of a difference it actually makes. If you're wondering why I'm looking kind of grainy, apparently that's you need to use lighting, which I like this lighting. This is my preferred lighting. Maybe that's not the greatest for making videos, but that's what I'm gonna do. I like this lighting. I like the glow of a nice monitor or TV or your cell phone rather than natural lighting. That's the gamer inside of me and the guy that watches lots of movies inside of me coming out. But that's how we're gonna go with it. So I have a few things to talk about before I get into the normal let's look at double rare stuff. So today is actually National Hamburger Day, so you need to go out there into the world. It'd help if I didn't have two of myself. You have to go out there and get some hamburgers. This is actually a 2 pound hamburger challenge at a not local place, really, really far away place that I had to eat. I didn't finish it. I got down to like, I wouldn't say a quarter, less than a quarter. Probably like 20% left, but I couldn't eat anymore because I was going to throw up. Apparently, when they make these things, I didn't know about it before I went there. I would have not gone there. Is they have so many toppings on it. Like they have mustard, relish, bell pepper, or not bell peppers, banana peppers. You could see onions, lettuce, and all that. They only let you take out one item. And I don't like relish and I don't like banana peppers. So I took out the relish. I ended up with the banana peppers, and every time I ate one, I felt like I was going to throw up. So I had to stop just because of that, and I will blame it on that because I was preparing for this thing for so long. Apparently, I learned that to expand your stomach, you have to drink a bunch of water. So for a whole week, I was drinking like you have to like build up to it, and I was drinking like so much water. And there's a point where you can actually poison yourself with water. I didn't poison myself, but I was ready to eat that burger. It was just unfortunately trying to get over the hurdle of eating a banana pepper wasn't something my body was willing to do. So, National Hamburger Day. After this, I'm gonna go get a burger somewhere. I don't know where it is, but go out there and do it. I think it's you only live you only live once, so why not eat a giant burger, right? Um, the next thing I'm going to talk about here is not Kaguya, but I'm going to say this as generically as possible because I don't want someone emailing me. And if you actually need to email me, it's in my about. So if you want to talk about something and you don't want to write it in comments, feel free to use that email address. Okay. So I don't want someone emailing being like, are you talking about me? No, I am not. So the answer is what I'm about to say here is I'm generically talking about the market. Okay. And if you've seen from my video about mapping, people can map booster boxes and they can map booster packs. So I want to reiterate to people to make sure if you are going to buy certain items from people to do your due diligence. It's your money and you only have so much of it, and I don't want you to be seemingly ripped off, right? Again, you're never going to fully know whether the person selling to you, if they know if there's something inside of it or not. You're not going to know. No one's really going to truly know. But the best thing you can do, right, is try to get some references on Facebook, on Reddit, or just the internet in general, right? The other thing you want to do is just take a look on the internet. Do they sell at other places, right? What are they selling at all the different places? And do they make videos or anything, right? So again, I'm not talking about anybody specifically. I'm just starting to see certain things that are definitely red flags to me. Again, this store owners aren't always told what's inside when someone pulls a thing, right? There could be new people that are selling, And again, that doesn't mean you disqualify them either. You're never really fully gonna know. Sometimes you just have to put some faith into who you're buying from. And if you didn't like what you got, then maybe you don't buy from them again. But we don't know for sure, and you shouldn't just truly just disqualify someone just because of them being new. Okay, so there we are. I just, again, watch out. Try to do your best to find the information. If you can't, then make your best judgment call, right? So, actually, having said that, I'm going to move on to this. Bushiroad again is selling Weiss Schwarz now, and what they're selling is they're selling JP trial decks. So if you didn't see my video about Bushiroad selling directly to customers now, they are doing that with Japanese trial decks, okay? And you're able to buy sleeves, deck boxes, and playmats. The only reason I mention this again is just so you know, right off the bat, it's more expensive. But again, in the future, who knows what they'll do with the other sets in the future, but this gives you a place if you are afraid of everybody in the world. You can't trust a store owner. You can't trust random seller guy on the internet. Bushiroad might be able to sell to you, right? It'll be a little bit more, but you have an option there. Lastly, what I want to talk about is the card market is definitely weakening. And I will say that about all the cards, right? You could say that about sports now. You could say that about Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, the whole deal. You could say that about Weiss. So what I was saying, if you were watching the past couple weeks, is I am going to watch Kaguya and make a judgment call based on it. We know Kaguya comes out in June. At this point, certain sets before this were basically virtually sold out as far as you can find. You'd have to go in other places like Facebook, and there'll be some sellers that had it. But right now, Kaguya is definitely available. You can find it. There's not a problem. And that's what I mean by softening. There is definitely more weakness there. There's not that huge, crazy demand. Demand is there, but not as strong as before. So I would say again, if you are an investor, that you want to make sure, if it at least comes to Weiss, that you like this stuff. Because again, you may be holding it a little bit longer than you might have wanted to. To me, I make no changes to what I'm doing. I know exactly how much I'm going to buy for each set that's coming out. And again, it's not the same for each set. I'm not one of those people. I actually like this game. I like the anime that is in it. I know the potential for this game. And I make my calls accordingly based on that. So me personally, and I'll throw it out there, is I bought a case of Kaguya. I have no problem saying that. I like the anime, and I think it's a strong set, so I want to play it myself. Right? So there we are. Again, just use some extreme caution. My mind went to, okay, well, there's no sign cards. As we are going to see with Magia record, that didn't matter, right? And as what I started thinking about was there more product bought by stores? Yeah, maybe a little bit more, but at the same time, that shouldn't have been an issue. The only other outstanding, I guess, topic would be then is, are the playset sellers having an adverse effect? And again, they are. I'm not saying they're not, but in this scenario here, I think it's, again, more of a weakening of the card market versus, like those outside forces. Okay, so that's where I land on that. All right, so I am going to talk about Data Live now. And again, I know this is going to be a long video, so there's definitely going to be those little time things at the bottom. So Data Live, what is up with Data Live? We got Data Live over here, came out March 26th. We are finally at a point where I believe personally Data Live is finally stabilizing. You could see it right here from the weekly change, not really much of a change. The only ones is Kotori, which actually 13% down, but overall we're good. It's pretty solid. Would I buy it right now? Probably not. If you ask me point blank, would you be buying here if you need the cards? What I would say is if you need the cards, go ahead and buy it. But me personally, I wouldn't. We know there is going to be a reprint. That thing is going to hit June from what my store that I buy from says, but I guess July, so I had to stick with my guess. So July, I think it's going to be there. So sometime June to July will come. It's going to come out. And obviously, as we can see here, if a reprint is coming, then there are going to be boxes opened. So there's going to be people that sell play sets that are going to be looking to sell the extra cards. And at this point, that would mean to me, May 28th, that you only have a little bit of time before those start showing up. So would I buy now? Nope, I would not. This Kurumi here, the best one, Terrible Spirit Kurumi 2978, just to point something out, I did not use this number here. The only reason why is because that was a massive undercut from all these other ones. So unless another one or two start showing up here, I'm not going to use that number. Okay, so everything else I pulled from here outside of that, I didn't use that one. Where we are. Along with that whole thought of reprint, we have the booster boxes, and the booster boxes have been going for 120s, and now they've dropped down to 105, 104, 105, and there is this person with 8. So again, I think that's going to be sitting there for a while. I mean, if you're looking to sell some, you're definitely going to have to drop it. Again, with the reprint coming out, there are definitely stores that overbought this thing, like I've been saying. I've been saying for a while that you shouldn't have bought so many if you were a store, unless you were looking at long term. If you're looking at short term, you just wanted to buy it, get the reprint, have stuff for people. I think that was a mistake. That's me personally. I'm not a store, so what do I know? But in the end, we know that there were people that got in on the first, let's say wave at this point, first printing of Data Live. They got it. There's some people waiting. They might have bought playsets now from people on Facebook or other stores. So at that point, those customers are gone. Who do you have left that are going to buy that? Yeah, there's going to be some people that are just going to wait for the reprint to buy some boxes, but at this point, I think they're few and far between. But my point of the whole reprint was, yeah, there were people that needed it. I don't think it is as big as people have thought. And even then, this is just another proof. This is more proof that reprints for English Weiss is definitely very risky. Right? Do you want to be that store buying a bunch of these and now you're stuck with it? So even though players might want these things, there's a huge risk on stores. And again, there are some stores out there that said, we're not going to buy this reprint, and for whatever the reasons there were, whether they were telling the truth or lying, I have a feeling that some were lying, that they knew that this is going to come with an excessive risk, that they'd be holding stuff longer than they want to. Okay, again, reprints are great. Sometimes they work out for the stores and sometimes they don't. I mean, in the end, I don't have a crystal ball, but my guess is the reprint is not going to be fun for some of these stores. When we take a look at the signature cards, not much of a change. They look about the same from what I'm looking at here. There's not really anything that horribly went up or horribly went down, so I think it's all about the same. I'm surprised again that this thing is still sitting at $4,000. Again, I don't think it's going to sell at this point for that price, especially with the reprint coming. But again, am I gonna bash these people for attempting to sell it for $4,000? No, it's their card. They can do whatever they want. If it sells, they'll probably be happy. If it doesn't sell, you know what? They got the card. They can always lower the price later. So they could do whatever they want. This whole argument that TCG players is nothing but memes and all that stuff, I don't really get. Right? Like other people sell cards on other sites. Or other people sell, right, all these other games here. and they put them up. It's really just because Weiss is small, and I don't need. Let's say this: I value a card based on what I want to buy it for. So if I see this $4,000 and I don't like it, I just move on. I don't get all angry about it, right? I don't say, man, I really wish there was a site out there that basically told everybody how much a card's worth, right? Like we can think, like you have a budget, you know how much you can spend on a card. If it's too much for you, you move on. So that's where I'm at in this whole discussion. So there we are. What else we got? That's it. Data Live. It's solid right now, but it's going to drop heavily. Okay, so next thing, we got Magia Record Mobile. At this point, when I was taking a look at this, we're good. You're solid. Look at the weekly change here. Zero, but not zero. What's it doing here? Oh yeah, it is. Actually, it is zero because this didn't really move. The only thing that really moved was this Iroha, and at the same time, 139, 118. Not like it's gonna make a difference. So this came out again in February, and at this point, I think if you were looking for any sort of singles or anything like that, this is your chance. It's not really going to change much. There's not going to be product that gets opened up at this point, and any demand would be, any of these cards would be used for the anime set, which has been out for a month now. So if you were looking to get into Magia Record, here's your chance. This isn't really going to do anything at this point. And as you see, it fluctuates up a percent or two based on what's buying. The cool part about this, tracking this, is seeing what sells and what doesn't. Because you can see here, the 0% is telling, right? There's no one really in a hurry to sell it, to undercut it, and at the same time, there's no one really buying it. So this is a pretty stable set at this point, and you can tell which ones are actually being bought or sold. Bought or, people are just tired of looking at it. How about that? And what do we got? We got Magia Record. So the sign cards, no difference. Nothing stands out to me. This looks all about right. Again, if you think 200's too steep, again, I don't blame you if you think that. But at the same time, that's the only one left. And I know there's other places you can buy from, but go ahead and get it or don't get it. I think these are good as they have signatures on them. How about that? They have signatures on them, so they're pretty decent. I love this one. And the Felicia. I've said that before. Felicia's pretty awesome. So, Magia Record, though, you can get. Magia Record, the booster box is $65. No one really wants it, I guess. And this is my proof. This is me just proving the point once more that I don't see a ton of people like swarming in to buy up all these boxes of Magia Record, right? You could say the $65 is a fair price at this point when you think about it. $65 for a booster box of Magia Record Mobile. If there were these crazy investors that are going to buy up everything, they would have bought this already. Or at least this one down here, which is $64.93 for a case per box. So I don't see what other people are seeing. Maybe I'm not getting it, but truly for me, I don't think there's this giant influx of people like buying out Weiss and buying out all these sign cards, right? Like this $70 sign card and $73 sign card. So no, I'm not really afraid of all that. Anyways, moving on. We got Magia Record Anime. Obviously, this is the stronger of the two sets between mobile and anime. And again, of note is there are no sign cards in here. Since this is the stronger set, my thought goes to why is the price of double rares $502 when this one is $666? Well, there's two reasons, right? We got two really strong cards here, $14, where this doesn't have one above 10. The other is, in my mind, it got opened more. We know Magia Record Anime was the stronger of the two. You need the majority of the cards, you need some of the mobile, but you need this. So to me, did the sign cards really matter? No. Is it better to have people open boxes? Yeah. As a player, you can see it right here. There's this massive drop. It's been almost 5 weeks, and we have this massive drop in price. The double rare price is just crazy, actually, when you look at it. Like, look how many of these things are below $5. At this point, is anybody really going to open more? I doubt it. I would hope not. But there we are. So I think you can see that people are getting tired of holding on this card, especially these two. It dropped pretty big. And the ones that you probably are likely to use are holding steady. So when we think about Magia record anime, you can tell there's not as much of a supply. It's $90. You see 15112 over here. What do we got? We got 1, 11, 20, 3, 4, 1 giant case. So there is plenty of supply for the mobile set, but the anime set, again, just off of TCG Player anyways, is not as much. So what does this leave us with Magia record? We got these serial numbers. Again, no sign cards, but what they have here is serial cards. So let's just take a look. Take a look at this picture here. Oh, it's 5, number 5. I read number 6. Number 5. Okay. All right, we got number 5 here. So it's kind of interesting to me when you take a look at these. So anything in blue is something that I added this week. So 1 week ago, they didn't exist. My other thought in my mind when I started looking at this is, do you think it's weird about these numbers? I think it's weird. So how I have this is I have the shipping country as United States. And when you take a look at this, look at these numbers, is there clumping? In a way, not clumping, but right, we know when someone prints cards, right? They come out, there's a sheet, it gets cut up, and then mixed, and then put into a box and put on a pallet and shipped to a certain area. Do you think, because this is what I'm thinking, do you think a certain batch of serial numbers ended up in different regions? Right, so follow me with that. If I have my country set this way, how can we only see certain numbers so far? Like, maybe I'm not looking at the right place, right? So my mind is going that these serial numbers, even though they're in random boxes, right, they're not random in the sense of the country. So there's got to be a place that has a bunch of 1s through 3s. There's got to be a place that has the 10s. So that's where my mind went when I saw these numbers. Again, I could be horribly wrong, and people are just hiding these things and not telling telling the world that they got them. But it's kind of curious that we're only seeing these certain numbers, right? So there we are. That's my thought, and that's going to play an important part on sets that are coming up, sets that people want and actually want the serial number for. Okay, so here we are. Okay, what we got next? We got Bofuri. We got Miss Maple and Sally. So this is my first one that I've actually tracked right from the beginning release, and it's super amazing actually when you take a look at the numbers. So it's been 1 week. I knew multicolored Sally. I was thinking get down to 15, 16, and it did. So amazing it did that. So 20% down, even though it's a highly sought after card, this thing dropped down 20%. And as you can see, a bunch of them did. This is actually a lot more than I thought it would have been. I know with other games come out, yeah, people undercut and all that thing, and prices drop as more supply comes out. That's a thing, but I didn't expect it to drop down this much over over just 1 week's time. So I know it's getting opened a lot because people definitely want the SEC Maple. They're totally opening. They actually want all the sign cards, right? Like the sign card on this one is nuts. People are just buying it all up. And again, I can agree to that. That was one of the reasons why I said this is a set to buy. My video back then, I said, if you like this anime, it got sign cards. It's a lot of, it's very fun. It's a fun set. Got some really pretty cards, and you got sign cards. So, um, wait, I didn't actually take a look at this one. Is this really how the sign card is on this one? On Kanade? This is actually my. I mean, I might have glanced over it before, but I'm actually looking at it now. That's weird. That's actually. I mean, because look, if you see all these are like fancy signatures and all that. What is this? What is that? Is that really how they sign? I'm not gonna judge a person from signing, but it just looks really odd compared to the other ones, right? Wait. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, sorry. I just looked over and I'm like, that's so weird looking. I thought it was one of those one of these stamp deals, right? Like I thought it was one of these. So I wonder why that person did it that way. Or maybe that's just how they do it. Okay, so Bofuri, I can't wait to see more of it. To me, though, if you're looking to buy, I wouldn't do it yet. There's plenty of people opening these things. They're still getting them and opening them. And there was actually people saying there's a delay to stores and stuff. I got mine early. So, and I get it. Things happen in different parts of the country or the world, right? And you don't get it. But if you think people got delayed and it's still coming, and you know based on these sign cards that people are opening trying to sell them, you can pretty much guarantee that it's not over yet. Like these things are going to continue dropping, which is sad because when you take a look at it, 674 is what the price is right now. I mean, Magia Record Mobile is 666, which again has less use playing wise, and I would imagine would have been less opened. 666. So this is proof again to me that the less open they are, the more it's going to be worth, just because there's not that supply of them. So Data Live, it was more useful as a set. It's a playable set. 781. Obviously, that's going to drop with the reprint. Magia Record Anime, again, I believe that it was more heavily open, which is why you got the 502. It's a more useful deck versus the mobile. So that's what we got here. So with Bofuri, what does that mean for it? Bofuri, I think, will drop into the fives. Definitely more supply is going to hit the market. People love it. It's going to be open, so you got time to wait to buy it. So there we are. I think that wraps it all up for the market update. Again, if you want to, actually, booster boxes 95, and trial decks individuals 32 or 150 is actually 25 each, right? That's decent. Holy crap, this guy got 8 of them. He's got a whole thing. You just buy it all from him. And remember what I said earlier when I began all this is like, again, this is a newer person. Would you trust it? Would you not? Again, take a look. And I'm not saying anything. I know nothing about this person. This is actually the first time I clicked on this trial deck box. Again, just because they're new doesn't mean that they're bad people, right? You don't know. But you want to just make sure to take a look around, trying to get some references. But again, this is a sealed trial deck display. So most likely it'll probably be a good thing. But make sure you do your due diligence on anybody that you're going to buy from as much as you possibly can, and then buy if you have to. And let's see Bofuri. Bofuri booster box supply it's definitely out there. You have an ability to pick some up, so it's still out there. But as you can see, booster box at 95 where you have Magia record at what, 65? Definitely there's not people just scooping all these things up, okay? Anyways, have a happy Friday and Memorial Day. Go out there and grill some delicious food and have some fun.